I just wanna ask if you guys can please like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks. Alright, now that we got that out of the way. Sorry, I don't know why I did that. What is going on, boys and girls? We are back with another video. It has been a minute. I honestly, I am convinced that I am probably the least creative person because I cannot think of a dang video, dude. But I have been liking doing tier lists, so why not make videos on doing tier lists? And I think that people enjoy tier lists. I like watching people do tier lists. That's like what I fall asleep to watching YouTube at night. But as you can see, we are going over superpowers. So we got S, A, B, C, D tier. And honestly, all these powers that are ranked are not going to be an F tier, so I just took that out because one superpower cannot be a F tier. Like, who would be mad about having a superpower no matter what it is, really? But yeah, let's stop jip-japping. Let's get into it. So, I guess I'm just going to be... so, super strength is obviously, like... I don't know how I'm supposed to be ranking them. Should I rank them as, like, how powerful you'd be or how like good they would be to have? You know what I'm saying? Because like you won't be like super crazy cracked if you had like invisibility, but it would just be super cool to have. You know what I'm saying? So I think I'm just gonna go based off of what I would want to have personally. Yeah, I'm just gonna do what personally I would want. So super strength, I think that would be dope, but I don't think that's an S tier superpower. I think it's fire to have, but I don't think that would be something like groundbreaking, you know? Like, you could, like, it depends on how strong you are. Like, if you're like Eddie Hall and those like bodybuilders, that's cool, but I don't really consider that like a superpower. But if you're like the Hulk, then yeah, that would be a little bit better. So if you're like the Hulk, it's like the S, but if you're like a superhuman, it's kind of just like an A, nothing crazy. Fire control, I'm not really around fire very often, so, and I feel like that would honestly kind of just be, it would probably get out of hand, and it would probably put somebody else in danger. So I don't think fire control would be that lit. Ice control is the same thing, just less cool with than fire. I mean, let's be honest. I'm not around ice. I live in Louisiana, so like, what the heck are we gonna do with ice over here? Invisibility, I also think is an A. Like, I know you guys, some of y'all have dirty minds, but invisibility, I think that would be sick, just to be able to like, if you don't want to be somewhere, like, if you're like, oh, dude, I really just don't want to be here, you just, boom, go invisible, and, like, nobody can see you, just hanging out, doing your own thing. You could just go mess with people, too. Like, you could just go mess with people, and, like, they just, like, you could freak people out and pretend like you're a ghost. It would be funny, I feel like. Cloning would be super cool, too. I think cloning would be, like, an A. But it depends. Like, if you're, like, in a lab and you have to clone, or, like, if you could just be like, oh, I want another person, boop, and just, like, pop out another person. Depending on how convenient it is, I guess that would be an A or a B. I think it would be fire to have multiple in B. I mean, let's be real. Come on now. Alright, moving on. Regenerate. So health regeneration. Wait, is that not the same thing? Healing and regenerate, the same thing? Okay, we're just going to put it in the same category. We're going to put regenerate. Okay, let's just say regenerate is growing limbs, I guess? I don't know. I don't plan on getting my hand cut off very often, so I guess we'll put that in C. But I think healing would be dope because that could heal you from like everything. You know, I feel like regenerate is just like cutting off limbs. I think healing would be like a tier. Like, healing's just fire. X-ray vision, I feel like it's kind of mid. What are you really gonna do with that? I mean, let's be honest. I feel like you can't really do much with that. Super smart, I think, is like up with A. I don't know. I'm gonna put it in B because I mean, yes, Albert Einstein was dope, but like, what really did he figure out? You know, like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't know. I don't feel like it would be if I had a choice of all the superpowers lined up, I'm not picking super smart. You know, teleport. I think I'm gonna put teleport in S. I just think that's fire. Like, thinking about it, just be like, you know what? I think I just want to go to like the Maldives real quick, and then just like teleport, and you're there, and then you're like, all right, you don't have to pay for plane tickets. It's basically flight, just without the hassle of doing it, you know? I mean, what are you going to be using flight for? To get somewhere? You could just do that with teleportation, but without being like, who's up? And going, you know? You could just, and then you're there. So I think teleport is honestly better than flying. But with that, I'm going to put flying in A tier, though, because flying is super cool. It would be fun to fly, but teleportation, like I said, is just way cooler. And you could just go places way faster. Air control, that just sounds like, that just sounds like it's kind of trash. I mean, I just did it. I just did it. Whenever I fart, I do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't see how that's crazy. That I don't think that's that cool. Stretchy limbs. I think it would be kind of fire to have. I don't think it would like change the game, but I think it would be cool. Like if like I'm sitting over here and I don't feel like going and grab something, I could just and then, you know what I'm saying? Like I think that would be cool. But I'd pick that over fire control, ice control, regenerate, stuff like that for sure. Because like you're gonna use it more on a day-to-day basis. Time control, I'm gonna put that with S2. Time control would be sick. If it's talking about like forwarding time, freezing time, going backwards, stuff like that, you could literally do whatever you want, whenever you want. You don't have to worry about work ever again because you could just go do stuff, pause everything, go, and then you could swim over to Australia and spend a week there, and then you come back home and not a day has passed, not a second has passed. You know what I'm saying? I just think that would be a super cool thing to have. Earth control, I'm not sure what you mean by that. I'm guessing that's like fire, ice, air, earth, I'm assuming. I think that would be the coolest out of all of them, to be honest, because you could just like pick up a rock and just, you know. I'm not gonna see a fire and just like very very rarely are you gonna go up to a fire and just like throw that. If it depends though, if all these come in you, like if you could like just take a piece of fire out of your hand and just throw it, it's different. But if you have to be around the element to actually control it, it's lame. But you're always around Earth. You know what I'm saying? So Earth would be way more convenient to have on a more day-to-day basis than a fire or ice. Because if I have to be around ice in the south, I'm never going to use it. If I was in like Alaska, I'd maybe pick ice. If I was in, I don't know really where you would pick fire over Earth anywhere in the world. I don't think you would really do that. But size control would be sick too. I think that would be an A though. I think like you'd be Ant-Man basically. Right, what are we at? We're at size control. Yeah, being Ant-Man, that sounds sick. I don't think that's a game changer. I don't think that's something that I'd pick over everything. But I think super speed would. Let's be honest, super speed sounds way cooler than being super strong. Like I said, all this is just if what I'm thinking, I'd be as quick as like the Flash. And if you're as quick as the Flash, you pretty much have super strength and have all this stuff. So super speed kind of comes with everything. Whereas if you're super strong, that doesn't automatically make that you're super speedy. You know what I'm saying? But super speed, if I was like the Flash, that would be sick. Because you can also basically turn back time, and you're teleporting, and you're super strong. So super speed, in my opinion, would go over all of these. Because you have all three of these in one pretty much. And you're pretty much invisible because nobody can really see you. So I think super speed is probably the best out of all of them. Electricity. I think that would be B. You're basically like Mr. Electric. It would be pretty cool, but I don't think it would be like any of these up here. I think these you'd be kind of like, you'd be like A tier superhero. This is like like you're like Doctor Strange and you're like the Flash. Super strength is debatable. All this is like B tier superheroes. Telekinesis, the same thing. I think. Oh wait, that's laser. B tier, I'd say. Telekinesis would be pretty cool because you could think what you could hear, what people are see and hear what people are thinking about you all the time. But if you're a superhero, what do you really care? I mean, let's be real. Unless you're like interrogating people for like crimes and stuff, I mean, it really doesn't matter. But I'm not gonna use them and be like, oh, do these people like me? No, because I'm a superhero, dude. I don't need you to like me anymore. Laser eyes. Same thing with those. Laser eyes would be sick. But I mean, they're risky. Like it depends if like you open your eyes and they're just lasers all the time, then you have to be like, yeah, you pretty much have to be blind all the time. But if like you can control it, you can just flick it on and off. But you'd still probably end up hurting somebody in the process of that. Immortality, I'm putting that in D tier. That sounds like it sucks. I'm gonna be honest. Immortality sounds like it is actually not fun because whenever there's an age-old question, right, where it says, would you rather die right now or would you rather be immortal? And if this is the immortal that I'm thinking of, that no matter what happens, whenever the earth explodes, whenever everything happens, whatever the end times are, you do not die, no matter what. You can get shot, you could walk through fire, you could fall off a cliff, you can do whatever you want, and you will not die no matter what happens. Whenever the earth explodes and you're floating in space, you're still alive. You ain't got a phone or nothing. You just hanging out, waiting to go to the next planet that may or may not have life on it for the rest of your life, till the end of time. That doesn't sound like a lot of fun. Personally, I wouldn't want that. I mean, maybe like living like a couple thousand years would be dope, but not till the end of time. Talking to animals, dude, give me that. Give me that. If I could talk to my dog, I'm choosing that over everything. I mean, let's be real. Who wouldn't want to talk to that gecko? If you say this isn't a top tier superpower, if you could just go walk, the only thing that would bring it down is if you could like hear ants whenever like you're accidentally stepping on them or something, or like a roach or a spider's like crawling on your arm, and you like slap it, and it's like, oh, you have a family. Like that would kind of suck. But other than that, talking to like dogs and a horse, or talking to a fish whenever you catch it, just seeing where it's like where the rest of his buddies are, catch him and stuff like that, I think that would be dope. Mind reading, that's the same thing as telekinesis, no? Or am I thinking telekinesis is the wrong thing? Is telekinesis whenever like you can... Wait... Telekinesis would be sick. Telekinesis whenever you can move stuff with your mind. I was thinking of mind reading. Mind reading is down here though, because I don't care about reading people's minds if I'm a superhero. Telekinesis would be dope because you can move stuff just by thinking about it. So you can just be like... You know, like that would be dope. I mean, and then also... It depends on the size of the stuff that you can move, but even if like I could just, you know, that would be cool. People would like it because of that. Mind control is the same thing. Actually, mind control would be better than mind reading because I feel like you could just make people do what you want, and you could be like, hey, give me this promotion. Hey, give me $1,000 real quick. Like, you know, you could just breathing underwater. I think would be like right below invisibility. I think that's super cool. I've always thought Aquaman was dope, so like. I think that would be lit, personally. But not as cool as the top 4. I think that's my locked-in S tier. I don't think anything's coming close to that. Shape-shifting, though, that would be dope, too. Like, you could shape-shift into animals and stuff. I'd shape-shift into, like, a koala bear and just kind of chillax all day. No cap. But I think shape-shifting would be sick. But you can't really... I mean, you could use it in, like, a fight or something like that. Like, you can turn it to, like, a bear or something, but... Or you could turn into like a gecko and just kind of like move around. And if you're actually shape-shifting, you can theoretically turn into like a lizard. Not a lizard, like a bird, and just fly. So you basically could have flight. And you could also breathe underwater because you could turn into like a shark. You could have super strength because you could turn into a gorilla. You could have super speed. You could turn into the cheetah. Low-key, shape-shifting is kind of on the S tier. Let's be real. Shape-shifting's low-key kind of slept on. I think that's the most slept-on one of all time. Shape-shifting. That's actually cool. You could have, like, a bunch of them and walk through walls. I mean, come on, dude. You would never even know, like, if... You would never know that you could walk through walls until, like, 20 years down the line whenever you accidentally walk into a wall. It would be cooler than those, though. Like, I think that's the bottom of it, but... I think... I actually saw that one day, is if, like... If you got all these powers without knowing, you just had to figure it out. The last one you would realize is immortality and walking through walls. Because when do you just walk into a wall? Very rarely. So like you might not know until like 50 years down the line, whenever you accidentally. Maybe that's why I haven't stubbed my toe recently. I could actually walk through stuff. I'm just kidding. All right, that's it. I think this is locked in. This is actually a pretty valid tier list. Put some thought into all these. If you guys don't agree, then you're wrong. But if you don't agree, comment down below which ones you change, which one you think is the best one, and which one you think is the worst. Please, guys, like, follow, subscribe. I really appreciate all you guys. I love you guys so much. I'm going to try to be posting more tier lists. Recommend some for me, and I will do them. And, yeah, boys, thanks for watching. Peace